to bring in ABC's Kenneth Moten for more on this. Kenneth, the big news today here in Washington, President Biden asking Congress for $33 billion in aid for Ukraine, military, humanitarian, economic aid over the next 5 months. Secretary of Defense Austin was just talking about that. That's a big number. What's in the package, and is Congress going to pass it?
Yeah, there's a lot in here. There's a lot of weapons. There's a lot of humanitarian aid. There's food assistance. There are even some things for the home front here to deal with inflation and the cost of rising food prices in this package. But $33 billion, you mentioned that massive price tag. We're already starting to get a little trickle of support and reaction from lawmakers on Capitol Hill and a key Republican leader. The Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has come out and said that he will likely vote yes for this $33 billion aid package. We were looking to see what the Republicans were saying on this because they would be the opposition here for what the president has put out. And we also heard from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who is calling for strong bipartisan vote on this on the House floor. It was $13 billion last month and a bipartisan vote in aid for Ukraine, a pretty big package, a pretty big number then. And then we got this $33 billion that will go over for 5 months till the beginning of the next fiscal year on October 1. But when it comes to what's happening as far as the Republican and lawmaker reaction here, the exact path forward, we should report, Terry, for this massive aid package remains still a bit unclear because we know that Democrats have toyed with the idea of linking the Ukraine aid to COVID funding. They are also, trying to pass this COVID funding here, and if they link it to that, they think to this Ukraine aid, they think they can get it all through. But we know that could complicate matters, and the Republicans say they'll insist on amendment votes on keeping Title 42 in place on any COVID aid package. Of course, Title 42 is that Trump-era rule when it comes to immigration and expelling people out of this country, especially coming through the southern border for pandemic reasons there. So it could get a little complicated. We're far off. We know that when it comes to Congress, they're not even likely to take this up until, a couple more weeks until they're back here in session in D.C. on Capitol Hill. So right now, that's a little bit of a reaction we're getting on this $33 billion aid package.
That's interesting. Bipartisan support, but it seems like as Ukrainians are fighting and dying to save their country, thousands of them have died, it looks like both parties want to add completely irrelevant topics to the aid and maybe take their time in getting to it. So that's the American Congress at work. But let me ask about President Biden announcing legislative proposals to crack down on some of those Russian oligarchs, those multi-billionaire businessmen that surround Putin, the inner circle. What do those proposals include?
Well, this one would be a new crackdown, essentially giving new authority to the DOJ to be able to go after and to seize property. We've talked about the yachts and the other, very fancy, high-profile property that, these oligarchs have and ways to go after them in their bank accounts because obviously the U.S. government, allies of Ukraine believe that not only is oligarchs helping fund Putin's war here, but they're benefiting from it as well. And so President Biden spoke and gave some tough words on that earlier today about how to give these new measures, give this new authority to U.S. officials to be able to go after them. We'll see what impact. It feels like from what we've seen so far, there hasn't been much impact, especially when you look at other ways and other funding for Putin's war here when it comes to gas. There was a big headline just yesterday about how much money Putin and Russia has made off of fossil fuels, and obviously with him stopping any type of cutting off that pipeline, to other countries like Poland and also Bulgaria, there's other ways for Putin to fund this war. Hitting the oligarchs, will that have an impact? That remains to be seen.
Hitting their yachts and their villas and stuff like that around the world, that has a large bipartisan support as well. Yeah. Kenneth, thanks very much for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.